There's no wrong way to do witchcraft. There really isn't. That's like the best advice. That's actually literally the best advice I was ever given when I first started out, is that there's no wrong way to do it.
Hannah Riggs says, hi, big fan. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
What magic is best for healing mental illness such as anxiety, PTSD, and maybe overwhelming stress or panic attacks? Herbs, spells, thank you so much. I have a few, but my biggest thing is don't rely on it.
Yeah,
I know that like that sounds terrible, but it's just like, I don't want you to think that like I give you this spell, light this candle, and all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
Think of this more as like a little helper or like a life hack.
Or
It's
like a
not,
coping mechanism.
Yeah, a coping mechanism. It's really not like a cure. This is not a cure. So definitely, like, you know, if you need any other professional help or anything like that, absolutely find that, because I definitely went that route and it helped a lot. Again, meditation, it's a really big one.
Yeah.
Really good one. If you, I like to get physicals. Yoga, because it kind of goes hand in hand with meditation. I do a lot of yoga, or like I dance. Anything that kind of gets you out of your head is a really good one. So crocheting or art. Any of those things help me.
Art can be really therapeutic.
Yeah, and you can definitely add magic in any of those. So.
And then I guess on kind of essential oils are really good. Lavender oil is really good for stress and relaxation, so is peppermint.
Other than if you hate lavender like I do. All the comments are gonna be like, what? You call yourself a witch?
How can you hate lavender?
All the keyboard warriors hate lavender.
I like cleaning and maintaining my altars. I feel like that brings me a lot of peace.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I have done that and just like not realized it. See, that's another thing, is like you'll start to be like, oh, I was doing the craft and I didn't even know.
Yeah. There, you know, like on that note, there's actually like a really good quote. I'm going to paraphrase it, but it's from the book Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, where it's something like along the lines of like, people just want like a ritual to go throughout their day, something that blends into the normal, you know, you know, it doesn't matter like what it is. So, you know, find something that blends into your normal.
Girl, I put on lipstick. My boyfriend will be like, how long have you been? Doesn't even matter. It's not about the lipstick.
It's the war paint.
It is. It's the war paint. It is. It's kind of like, but I also just really like the look of it, because it's just like you walk in and like you're like the witch has arrived. Yeah. Like, you're like, I'm here now.
Here we are.
And so exactly. Oh yeah. So herbs and spells. Figuring out how to write spells, it was a difficult one for me. Yeah. But honestly, like, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. And like, once you find how you like to do that, creating your own personal spell for anxiety is going to be amazing, because then it's personalized, it's something for you, because if I give you something, it might feel very distant and like disconnected. So I kind of advise you to maybe find your own to do that. Yeah,
you don't have to make it like a rhyming poem or anything like that when you write a spell down. I've literally done like bullet points, like a to-do list, and I'll be like, well, I need to cover rent, and I need this, and I need that, and I need all these other things, and then I just kind of like fold it up and like kiss it, and then I put it under my little cauldron.
Oh, there, oh, and you're like productivity.
Yeah, productivity, there you go, yeah.
See, this is why I love being around other witches, because it's just like so many good ideas.
Okay, so Taylor Miller asks, what do you think is the purpose of magic? Is there a certain amount of practice to where you'll be able to move things with your mind, even if that only happens in movies? And speaking of that, do any of y'all have any special gifts? I use y'all all the time too. Do any of y'all have any special gifts, such as clairvoyance, telekinetic abilities, seeing spirits, seeing into people's past lives, and seeing auras? And do you have any advice with people who are or want to be witches? And what are the history of crystals people use from energy in the modern time? And what do you think about the people who have gifts who turn out to be fake but still write books, and fake psychics use the lie for their fame? So there's a lot to cover here.
Oh my God, Taylor, calm down.
Let's start off with, what do you think the purpose of magic is?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Okay, I personally believe that magic is just a form of science we don't understand yet.
Yes.
I believe that it has to do with physics. You can literally have two different atoms on different sides of the universe, and somehow they're communicating with each other. Like, what the f is up with that? Witchcraft is the practice of interacting with the natural balance of chaos and order and influencing it.
I love the elegance of your answers.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like, sometimes I just put on lipstick aggressively. That's my spell.
Yeah, so I don't think that there's inherently a purpose to magic. It's just something that we are capable of like doing, and it's another way of interacting with the world around us.
Yeah, I think it's just an interaction of that people have figured out, but don't completely understand.
Yeah, I remember one of the definitions of a witch that really stuck with me was something like somebody who's willing to ponder and explore the great mysteries of the universe.
The elegance.
Is there a certain amount of practice to where you'll be able to move things with your mind, even if it only happens in movies?
I don't know, but I hope so.
I want to believe that that's possible.
Me too. Like, we were saying, I was like, I saw Matilda.
Yeah.
And I think that was my gateway drug.
Yeah.
To witchcraft. Like, I mean, I remember being really small, like single digits, and seeing Matilda like move that Cheerio across.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna be that bitch. And I remember sitting there like in class, fixed on a pencil.
Yeah.
Like,
I did the same thing.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that.
And then I also had a huge crush on Miss Honey. You sweet like honey. As far as I know though, I think things like moving to objects with your mind is mostly in the realm of like film and movie magic.
So
it is magic, but it's movie magic.
Right.
So far my experience has mostly just been with film.
I feel like I believe in my heart that it's possible, just because like Matilda changed that for me.
Yeah.
But like, I'm gonna go back. But you know,
no hard evidence yet.
Yeah, no hard evidence yet. But I mean, we also thought the world was flat at one point. So
yeah, so
you know, like
you never know.
You never know.
Do any of us have any special gifts such as clairvoyance, telekinesis, seeing spirits, seeing into past lives, and seeing auras?
I want to say I do, but I think everybody has that power within them to do that, and some people are just more connected to it.
Yeah.
So I think it sometimes like it happens to like just normal people too.
Right.
That like,
but they don't realize it.
Right. That you like see something happen before it happens, or like you know, or you know, I feel like those things are real. Yeah. And I think everybody has that power. It's just how connected you are.
Yeah. I have a really unreliable form of like precognition where like I'll be thinking like I'll
happens
be
when it's unreliable.
Oh no, it does. Like literally I'll be thinking about like a song or something like that, and then it'll like come on the radio like 2 minutes later, and I'm like, what?
And most of the time, like, I wish it was from movies where you're like, oh my god, I have this like name of like the person that I'm supposed to meet, or you know, like you're talking to a person and you're like, your grandmother wants me to tell you, but then you're
doesn't really work like
right. It's just like, this is the next song on the radio. You're like, at what point was this good information to tell me?
And so the last question that Taylor had was, what do you think about people who have gifts but turn out to be fake, but they still write books and fake being psychic in order to use their lie for fame and for personal fortune?
They're human.
Yeah, they're human, and I do have like a little bit of like a visceral gut feeling towards it, just because it's like, oh, okay, they're sort of disrespecting like the practice and like delegitimizing people who actually practice it and hold it like closely as like a, you know, like a cultural and spiritual concept. But I feel like you're gonna face that like no matter what, especially since, you know, like witchcraft and paganism and all that other stuff has such a connotation in our current culture about, you know, oh, it's devil worship, when it really isn't.
But I mean, it's the same thing with supplements. You know, I mean, like they're gonna say, oh, this is gonna do so amazing things for your body and all this stuff, but really a lot of it's like fillers and really, I mean, like things that the FDA is not approved. Right. You know, like a lot of really sketchy things. It's the same thing. Right. You know. Okay, so I liked this question a lot. What's your advice for baby witches who are victims of childhood indoctrination about hell and all that stuff? There's two parts to this question, so I'm going to address the first part, which is the childhood indoctrination. I have a lot of friends who, like you included, where, you know, they had to deal with a really Christian upbringing and stuff, and honestly, I think, like, if you can, just try to distance yourself from those types of mentalities, because it doesn't matter what the subject is. People who have that kind of, you know, mentality of holier than thou, or, you know, whatever the subject is, they're just going to end up being toxic people. Well, that happens in paganism too. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It does happen in paganism too. You're going to find toxic people. You're going to find toxic people everywhere. Yeah. Don't be bitter about it. Yeah. That's one of the biggest things is I feel like my transition from being Christian and being agnostic, I had a really tough time of questioning, am I just going against this because I am kind of bitter of how I was raised to view things? At a point, yes, but before I was just like, well, I renounce all Christianity. It was not that, because I still love a lot of things about Christianity. I still love a lot of things about Christians. I have nothing against Christians still, you know. It's more of just kind of realizing like my personal beliefs. So don't change your beliefs or go against your beliefs all due to bitterness.
Yeah, don't do something out of spite.
Right, yeah.
Second part of Sydney Hall's question. I, as a smoker, said, do you think cigarettes are against witchcraft, paganism, spirituality, etc.? I have a good answer to this one. I don't think that cigarettes go against witchcraft at all. In fact, I mean, I don't smoke cigarettes, and I know that this is kind of mostly pertaining to states that have already legalized it.
Right.
But I smoke a lot of cannabis, and cannabis factors in a lot with my witchcraft, but also just like I have anxiety, depression, PTSD, you know, like the whole list of things that cannabis also helps. I was telling you this the other day, and you really like this. Okay.
Like, well, because I personally don't smoke. I'll take small bits of edibles because I have a really bad hip after dancing. Sometimes I can't sleep. But like, she told me about this, and I was just like, that makes so much sense.
Basically, cannabis is sort of the herbal equivalent of clear quartz crystal. It protects, it cleanses, it calms, it purifies, it pretty much does everything that's good for you. And because you're smoking it, you're taking it into yourself. So it's almost kind of like you're smudging yourself from the inside out. And I personally like to factor the smoking and using the smoke and the act of using your breath a lot in my witchcraft, because breath is an active source of like your spiritual energy, and you're breathing life into whatever spell you're doing. So sometimes when I'm practicing and I'm doing a spell, I'll actually smoke, and I'll breathe the cannabis smoke across what I'm doing, so it cleanses me and then it cleanses everything else that I'm doing at the same time.
So smart.
Also, it just looks cool.
How witchy is that? You're just like in here like with your just
that's what I do. I do that all the time.
I like low-key want to just like watch you do working just to like, I mean, just how witchy that would be.
We'll
as I'm stuffing my face with blueberries.
We'll have to set that up. Oh yeah, she overpoured her tea. But to summarize, while she is sipping her tea, no, I do not think that cigarettes are against spirituality or witchcraft or anything of that nature. It is a physical manifestation of the element of air.
Oh, we have quite a few more.
Yeah, we do have some more, yeah.
I was like, oh, are we almost done? Andrea Har60 asks, where would one find videos on a non-religious witchcraft, not atheist or agnostic?
This is kind of a difficult one.
Well, atheist and agnostic are both non-religious. So I'm not quite sure what you're asking.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Oh, anthropology textbooks. Yep.
That's a great one. Yeah, anthropology. And
not the store anthropology where you can get a bundle of sticks for $60. The scientific study of human and cultural evolution, which again, like I said earlier, I'm studying at the moment. So if you wanted
bundle of sticks.
If you're like me and you do like to take a little bit more of a scientific approach to the craft, that's a really good place to start, because you're not studying the deities or the spirits or whatever when you're doing that. You're studying the cultures that believe these things, and you're studying the practices that they do. And then, you know, from there you can extrapolate your own brand of how you want to approach your craft from that.
I think that's a great. That's why I bring her on. Amazing.
Physics is also a good subject to study if you want to get non-religious with your witchcraft. Physics, metaphysics, all that fun stuff.
Right, I hope it's Nika. Is it possible that you could be part of multiple covens or just loyal to one coven? I think that depends on
things.
Because some covens are it is us and only us. And I mean, I feel like with our coven, if you and I joined separate covens, nobody would care. I think it depends.
Your mileage may vary. I personally don't think that it's a wrong thing to join multiple covens.
I don't think so either.
I've always been kind of just like a social butterfly, and I jump around from like group to group, and you know.
I mean, and if you think about it too, is it wrong to be a part of separate churches?
Right.
You know, I mean, it's just a group of people who actively practicing the same thing. Polly413 asks, how do you cleanse your items for witchcraft?
All ways to do that.
Different ways. I use Palo Santo.
Palo Santo is good.
Moon water.
Moon water.
I do sound cleansing. Sometimes I would like have my bell and I'd just be like, get
I know with tarot cards, like you can shuffle them and that kind of like disperses the energy.
You can set things out into the moonlight. I mean, even running underwater, being that as long as it's water safe.
Yeah. Like don't run selenite underwater, it will dissolve.
So Ariana Crane, wondering if it's better to keep my bullet journal and grimoire and Book of Shadows separate or combine them all. That's personal.
Yeah, however you want to do it. I mean, she does very, very detailed like calligraphy work, and she has like this whole big binder that she decorated it to make her Book of Shadows. I have like a journal over here and another journal over here, and then this is technically my Book of Shadows.
Literally,
I mean, you know, like this literally, like your smartphone is a repository that has access to all sources of information that's out there.
If you're practicing the secret, digital.
Yep. Yeah, very easy to cover your
I
steps.
use my Book of Shadows, I use my bullet journal just to keep track of moon phases and certain Coven meetups, but other than that, my spells and like all of my information is slowly turning into one book. Yeah.
Also, your best Book of Shadows is right up here.
Boom. My battery's dying. Okay, let's see. What inspired both of you to become witches and practice magic? Knowledge.
It kind of runs in my family.
Oh yeah, there you go. Knowledge and curiosity, really.
That too, knowledge and curiosity.
So we're on the road now. My camera died and I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna answer the questions on the go.
Okay, Mermaid Reefer. And Mermaid Reefer asked, why aren't my spells working? And how do I know what deity is calling? And when you work with them, do you actually see them, or how does that work? So I guess let's address like the first part of the question.
So why aren't your spells working? I think that goes back to not believing that your spells are going to work.
Yeah.
Because if you do your working, light your candle, or however you do it, and you don't believe that your spell's going to work, that it just shoots yourself in the foot already. Yeah. So you have to really be confident, and that's going to come with practice. It's not going to be a switch that you just turn back on. So it'll come with practice, and then I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. There's a lot of different things that could be happening, but I think that's the biggest thing that tends to be the problem.
Yeah. Also, there you do have to keep in mind that sometimes it takes a little bit of a while for a spell to work. Sometimes a spell could be working on something up in the ether and you don't realize that it's happening, but when it finally does come to fruition and you're like, oh, okay, because like, especially if it's a big thing that you're trying to ask for, that's going to take some time to build up over time and work in your favor.
The universe has to line things up for you too.
Yeah. Also, if you feel like it just really flat out isn't working, do the spell again. There's no harm in it, you know, just try it again. Sometimes you do need to do a spell a couple of times because it'll build up the power of it over time, and just be patient. If you feel the need to do your spell over again, and I can see myself in my classes.
The illusion is shattered. There's a camera.
The second part is, how do you know when a deity is calling? And when you work with them, do you actually see them, or how does that work? I have never seen a full body manifestation of any deity. They usually come through in signs and, little ways that'll be easy for you to recognize. Signs from
dreams you might see.
Dreams too, yeah.
Cool. But I don't work with deities, so I'm gonna let her take this.
Yeah. Usually they will show themselves symbolically. Sometimes I'll hear a song on the radio and I'll think, oh, this is like a message from so-and-so or from like whatever spirit. Or sometimes, like one time, when I first made contact with Odin, actually specifically, I was meditating in front of my altar for him, and I had all the lights off except for like the candles that were on the altar. And I was watching the shadows flickering on the wall, and then all of a sudden, it seemed like the shadows were turning into like curling branches of a tree. And I knew that something was there, and I said, who is this? Present yourself. And I just heard Odin in my head. How a deity presents themselves is very rarely in like a full-bodied physical form. And usually signs are something that are going to be really particular to you and something that only that you can recognize and understand. But trust your gut instincts. If you feel like that it's a sign that something is there, then chances are it probably is. Callie Bays asks about being in the broom closet, maybe because I'm trying to find a video about it. Oh, okay, I guess she's just asking about being in the broom closet in general.
I have a video on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so link.
Yeah.
It's a very general video, but really, again, like how she was saying in the very beginning, you find rituals that are in your day-to-day that don't raise questions. It's more of something that's a personal thing. Like my lipstick, if you didn't know that that's what I was doing, you would just see me aggressively applying lipstick.
Yeah, makeup for me has also become a bit of a ritual too.
I feel like such a YouTuber. I have a video on that.
I have a video on that. And then there's the link for it, which is probably going to appear right above my finger right now.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. Another user asked, what are your beliefs about death and the afterlife? And secondly, how do you use your sense or tune into the energies of objects and creatures around you? I personally believe that we are inherently tuned into the energies of objects and animals and creatures and basically everything around us.
Agreed.
Yeah. We're kind of like walking like radio towers where everything living is constantly putting out, you know, wavelengths of energy that's interacting with everything else. That's why you can be in one space that's really super comfortable, but then you can go to a completely different space and suddenly be like, oh my god, the energy here is like really off for some reason. It's like that creepy crawly feeling that you get in your gut.
You know, you can walk into a room and know when somebody's just had like a fight or something. You know, like because you are just connected to people and things around you.
You already are. Everything's connected. We're connected to the universe. Universal connectedness.
Now, thoughts on death and afterlife is interesting because I am agnostic.
Yeah.
So I'm still figuring that out. I have a feeling that reincarnation is absolutely a thing, but I don't think that everybody gets reincarnated, if that makes sense. So like I feel like some people do get reincarnated and some people go to an afterlife is what I kind of believe at the moment. But honestly, I'm still figuring that out right now. So
me too, honestly. However, if it helps you at all, the first law of thermodynamics is energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes forms. Bam!
I love videos with Danielle. We're having more videos. Comment if you want videos with Danielle, 'cause I want videos with Danielle.
Okay, so next question is by Sir Liberty. And Sir Liberty asks, do you use in your coven a coven book of shadows or a spell book? And if yes, how do you share it? And how often do you meet up in the coven? And what rituals are you doing?
Oh, so there's a few questions.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions here. We actually just recently had it unveiled, actually.
Yeah, I think it was a year before we even
before we had an established like
coven book.
Yeah, but now we have one. And anybody's allowed to go to our coven headquarters and just like leaf through it and copy down stuff that they like out of it. And then we also keep our own individual books of shadows. I don't think we're allowed to like take it home, so we can't share it like that. But
but we can definitely take copies or things like that.
Yeah.
You got the questions. I'll just
okay. Cool.
There you go.
How often do you meet up in the coven, and what rituals are you doing? We meet up like pretty frequently, a couple times a month.
We
usually have like at least one like established like this is a coven meetup about once a month,
and like something that we learn about. Yeah, and then we have like a meetup where it's just to spend time with each other.
Right.
Because that's important.
Yeah. Because it's not just about the coven; it's also about like the friendships and just like you have to form a bond with the people around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
What rituals are we doing? We're doing all kinds of rituals. Honestly, it's kind of hard to just be like, well, this is like one ritual that we do.
I mean, we do like to do a lot of like grounding and cleansing and renewal.
Yeah, lots of prosperity stuff too.
Yeah, a lot of prosperity stuff, but there's not really anything that like is a specific ritual that we like is like a staple.
Right.
Most of the time it's just kind of like, oh, this is kind of what we need right now, and this is what we're gonna do.
Sastrus Reality says,
ooh,
what is the
these
weirdest...
names though are just like,
I love it. What is the weirdest supernatural experience or something that you couldn't explain during or after a spell or ritual? Weirdest supernatural experience. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Let's see. I'm trying to hold it where the mic isn't. It's fine. Oh, that's the crotch shot. Yep. Oh God, Olivia. It's fine. Okay. Weirdest supernatural experience after a spell or ritual. Yes. I think I've had a bunch of like candle glasses break. Yeah, and then the spell like the glass will fucking shatter, and I'll have glass shards everywhere. But then the spell will come through like a bowl charging through like a wet tissue paper.
So then it's like, all right, you got exactly
you got it.
There is a cat that shows up on my doorstep every day, and it's a white, like a pure white cat, blue eyes, and it's apparently a stray, but it's like clean. So I really don't know, but it shows up on my doorstep every single day and just sits outside my window and sits there.
Freya blessed you.
I was like, it's like the spirits are there. The spirits are there. It's my spirit guide. I don't know who it is or what they're doing, but like they're watching over me. And so finally I started leaving water for her. I mean, this was like, I think a year within living there, this cat would show up. And then finally I was like, this is the spirits. Like, it's not. Oh, I was asking like if I was going in the right direction. Like I was asking kind of like, am I off my path? Or
sometimes you gotta check in with yourself.
Yeah, and I was just like, am I off my path, or do I need to like, I just like need a sign to tell me that I'm in the right here. And all of a sudden, this giant flock of crows just like fly, and I was like, okay, I got you. Into the tree that I was walking towards, and as I went under the tree, I passed the tree, and that giant flock of crows went to the next tree, and I was like, okay, y'all are with me. I was like, that's a good feeling. So I was like, all right, at least I know that I'm kind of like going in the right direction over here. Well, see, and like most of the supernatural things don't usually happen like right after a spell or a ritual. But I've had a lot of really freaky things happen to me before, but like not after a spell or a ritual.
Lacey Schrock asked, what is your guys' favorite style of magic, such as candle magic, bath magic, kitchen magic, etc.? I consider myself a huge ass kitchen witch, honestly.
I can't cook with shit.
Oh my god. I can like eyeball ingredients and like throw something together that tastes amazing.
So, which is true.
Yeah.
So true. My god, it like every time she's like throwing a party and I'm like, I'll be there.
And I have like 3 very, very, very magical things in my kitchen. The old ass KitchenAid that's been with my family since like the beginning, basically. My cast iron cooking pan, and then my mortar and pestle, this big old stone mortar and pestle that I have.
That's so cool. I have a mini one. Mine is candle magic. I just personally really like candle and earth magic, but especially candle magic, just because it's so versatile and really easy to do. And also then, like, I like when you're doing candle magic, you kind of have a sense of how your spell's going. So if like something's wrong within your situation or your spell or whatever, you know. So, you know, like if you're doing one of the 7-day candles and you can read the wax inside of it and you can kind of see like, oh, it might not work because you're not seeing something correctly, or, you know, there might be a lot of blockages, or it'll give you like a time sense. So it's just like, it's really in depth, I think, personally for candle magic. I really like it.
I also like divination and spiritual journeys.
So
I think we got one more question left. FL, oh wait, just said they wish they were in a coven too.
You'll get there if you want.
You'll get there.
Yeah, don't worry.
Don't worry, it'll happen.
Well, guys, that is our Q&A. I'm really glad that we had a lot of questions, so thank you. Awesome. And hopefully I can get the whole coven together sometime soon and do like a whole Q&A with the coven. That's gonna be a long ass video though. But
might as well just do a live stream or something.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so good.
There you go.
See this one? More videos with Danielle. There's our Q&A. I'm really glad that you guys asked so many questions, and I hope that we answered them thoroughly and was like slightly entertaining also, so you weren't just like listening to a lecture. And we're gonna go do our witchy stuff together. So see you guys. Be kind to each other, and best of luck.
Yeah.
Bye.
Keep it witchy.
Keep it witchy.